Hello, this is Jason Matthews. I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and today I want you to watch with me this public domain, publicly released police body camera footage. And if you haven't watched the series so far on this video that I've been doing, a progression from week to week, asking you specific questions about this video and what you think police should or shouldn't do in this circumstance from a use of force perspective. Use of force meaning what can the officer do to the suspect to stop him from fleeing. And so if you haven't watched that series of videos, go back and watch that first, and then come back to this video. And in this bonus video, I'm going to tell you what I believe the officer did wrong or could have done better.
The thing of it is, you're still not in trouble, but obviously I can't trust you not to run anywhere.
Problem number one that I'm seeing right now, it appears, again, this is body camera footage. It is not the view of the officer. The body camera is normally mounted on the chest, and the officer's eyes are at a higher level than the body camera, so his view is not the exact view of the body camera. Also, if he turns his head from left to right, the body camera is not catching that footage because he's just turning his neck. So maybe he can see this, but I doubt he can based on what happens next. He cannot likely see the left hand of the suspect, and that's a major problem. Because whenever we're contacting suspects, the training is, whether you like it or not, is for officers to ask or tell a suspect to show them their hands, either take their hands out of their pockets or show them their hands, either down below or above their head. So asking is voluntary. In other words, if the officer is asking a suspect to show him his hands, that's a request. You don't have to comply. If he's telling the suspect to show him his hands, that is an order. The difference is, if he's asking, he probably does not have reasonable suspicion or probable cause, but that's the training. The training, generally speaking, at least in my training, was always ask the suspect to take their hands out of their pockets or have them show you their hands. With probable cause, it's an order. Let's continue.
All right, so come on. I'm going to put you in handcuffs for now, okay?
The issue I have here is whenever we're cuffing someone to prevent circumstances like this from happening, what's about to happen, we need to be more forceful with people. If we're going to put somebody in handcuffs, that's a use of force. That is an official use of force, putting someone in handcuffs. If you're going to put someone in handcuffs, put them in handcuffs with purpose. Touching their arm and just turning them around as this officer, it's too soft. It's not purposeful enough. When you handcuff someone, you do it matter-of-factly, and you're using force. You are making them get their hands behind their back if they're not complying. And so me, in my opinion, or what I would do, based on just what I'm seeing, again, this is limited information. It's only body camera footage. It's limited static information. It's not the actual details of the incident. It's not the facts of the incident. It's not the totality of the circumstances. But from what I'm seeing here, I would grab both of his arms and make him put them behind his back and then cuff him. Let's continue.
He stabbed me, he's got a knife!
He stabbed me, he's got a knife, I believe is what he said. Why did the officer pull out a gun? Because a knife is a deadly weapon. This is the training. In the academy, use of force. A knife is a deadly weapon. And if we are to believe the officer, which I keep hearing officers lie, officers are criminals, so you can believe that he didn't stab him. Maybe he's lying. Maybe the officer's lying. Who knows? right? Because we didn't see it on body camera. We didn't see him actually stab him in the neck. Maybe the officer, according to the public out there, will comment and say, the officer's lying. He's just using that as a excuse to pull out a gun and chase someone and use force on them because police are corrupt. This is the stuff that I hear all the time. But let's say that he did stab him. He pulled out a knife. That's enough for the officer to pull out a gun. It's even more of a reason for him to pull out a gun if he actually stabbed him. Either way, it doesn't matter. The training of law enforcement is if someone pulls out a knife, you pull out a gun. You always try to get the upper hand. You don't pull out a taser when someone has a knife. You don't pull a less than lethal tool, which is a taser, if someone has a deadly weapon, because a taser is not generally considered a deadly weapon. It's a less than lethal weapon. Let's continue.
Hey, stop! Stop! Stop it!
Now, me personally, at this point, and this is a rapidly evolving circumstance, the officer is in a possible deadly force incident. He's got to make a quick decision. But at this point, from what I'm seeing, if I was in this circumstance, I would have already holstered my gun so I can chase him. It's not a good idea, generally speaking, to chase someone with a gun in your hand because you can actually accidentally pull the trigger, and you might pull the trigger and the bullet might hit you if you're running and it's facing downward, or you hit the stock or something and it faces a different way. Plus there could be bystanders. It looks like it's a park or something. It could be a public area. It's a minor correction. But again, adrenaline is pumping through this officer's veins right now. I've been in many circumstances like this. And officers have to think quickly. Let's continue.
Stop! Stop right now! I got him at gunpoint. Stop right now! Stop! Nick!
So now he's pulled out a taser, and let me go back again to the firearm. It really depends on the distance, because if he feels like this individual could turn around and turn the knife on him, then yeah, it is a good idea to keep that firearm out and ready. But again, this is police body camera footage. The depth is hard to see. How far away is he? Is he 5 feet away? Is he 10 feet away? Is he 20 feet away? It really depends. What he could do is holster that firearm and not pull protector guard over the top of the firearm and just leave the holster open so he could quickly get to that firearm. And when we're talking about tasers, this depends on department, it depends on policy, but you can fire a taser from either your left or right hand. Usually these days, police are carrying tasers on the weak hand side. Weak hand means the opposite side of the firearm, and the firearm is carried on the strong side, which is the dominant side. Meaning, like, if you're right-handed, then you carry your firearm on your right side, and you carry the taser on the opposite side. And as a taser instructor, I was a taser instructor when I was in law enforcement not long ago. I always kept my taser on my left side and my firearm on my right side. But it appears this officer has grabbed the taser out of his weak side and he has moved it to his strong side. So now he's prepared to discharge the taser from his strong hand. The training that I did when I was in law enforcement is you discharge the taser, if at all possible, with your weak hand. That way, if it fails or you need to get back to your firearm because of a changing situation, like if this individual were to turn around and present the knife aggressively to the officer, he could quickly reach to that firearm again that he holstered and pull it out and use lethal force with the firearm. So there's a lot of details here. As you can hear, a lot needs to be considered of the officer. It's not that simple. It's not as simple as you think it is if you're not law enforcement. It's very complex, and the decisions that need to be made are very complex. And they could have life or death consequences to the officer, to the suspect, and police can go to jail for things that they do, bad decisions they make, mistakes that they make. Let's continue. Go watch the full video, which I will link down in the description box of this video. Again, if I show violence on this channel, I can get a strike. And also, if I want to show violence, I would have to jump through a bunch of hoops with YouTube and give a bunch of disclaimers. I don't want to do that. You can go watch the video. Link is in the description. But he has fired the taser, which was effective because now he is on the ground and he has prevented the escape of the suspect. But as I mentioned in the last video, I'm still not clear on who he was yelling to, the officer, when he said he was stabbed. Was he yelling to this partner that we're going to see in the video, or was he yelling that over the radio? Could be both, could be either. Again, police body camera footage, we don't know. It's a static view. We can't see everything. So we can only make assumptions, and this is what most people do. They make assumptions about police body camera footage without knowing all the details.
Stop right now! Put it down! Drop the knife! Go to the side!
Yeah, you okay?
I don't know.
If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released. Take care and have a good day.